Welcome, the lovely Megg Alexander, to episode 8 of Millie and Billy No Ball. If anyone listening doesn't know Megg, Megg plays Cassie on Shortland Street. She's a very talented actress, as well as, as far as I know, singer, musician. She's very big on her health and wellness, and she is a young New Zealander who's taking a really interesting and creative path. So we're really excited to talk to you all about it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the intro. I'm so excited to be here. I love doing podcasts and I was so happy when you asked me. I was like, yes.
So, who are you and who is Cassie?
Well, hi, I'm Meg and I play Cassie on Shortland Street. And Shortland Street is a soap opera that's been going for about like 33, 34 years in New Zealand. It's kind of giving Grey's Anatomy if it were Kiwi, but like dramatized. That's sort of what the vibe is there. And my character was just one of the teens on the show for a bit, but now she actually works in the hospital, which is new, which is great. She's not qualified in the slightest. That's okay because she's just helping out. So, yeah. When I started on Shorty, I was 15, I think. So around that time, I guess I was kind of figuring out who I was alongside playing this character. And I think me as a person, I'm quite different to Cassie. I feel like Cassie is very much traumatized. Not to say that I'm not traumatized. I definitely am, but she's had it a bit hard.
I'm not a full on Shortland Street
Yeah.
watcher, but from what I have watched, like,
Mm.
Cassie has been, I want to say, addicted to drugs. Was she for? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she, her baby daddy died, um,
Yeah.
had a
R.I.P.
baby. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you've had a lot going on.
It was kind of crazy having to do storylines like that because like you wouldn't really you find out about them in advance, but usually it'd be through like just random people talking about it. And so you're kind of like, wait, I get pregnant? Hello? I remember I was in makeup one day and they were like, oh, you're having a baby, aren't you? I was like, me? No? Who told you that? And they're like, no, Cassie. I was like, Cassie? Huh, you got a kid? I was like, girl, I'm a kid. What?
Yeah, literally.
So yeah, no, I know. And so playing like Cassie versus me, like I'm very much into like my health and wellness and music and kind of like I guess like quote self development type of stuff. Like that's really my jam and sort of like I love reading, I love journaling and doing all that. I love traveling. And I feel like Kathy is very much like the polar opposite. She's so different. She's very like I don't want to say grounded, but she's very like now at least in what we've been airing on TV, so like post drug addict era, she's relatively grounded.
Yeah.
In her mother mode, mommy era.
Mommy era,
Um, and
mamacita.
you know, she's mamacita. So she's very yeah, it's quite hard to like put a finger on exactly who she is because I feel like I haven't figured that out and neither has she. And so I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I know who I am, but Cassie's just like a jumble of shit, really.
That's kind of awesome that you get to have a really rebellious teen era and live that, but you don't actually have to live it. Like, you
I
get to
know.
do all
It's
the.
so much fun. Dude, literally doing scenes where I get to like yell at people or scream or cry or like physically like I had to dick someone in the face once. That was great. But like any type of like scenes like that, it's so much fun because I would never do that normally. Never say never. Maybe I'll dick someone next weekend, who knows? But for now, like I'm assuming I'm not going to do that.
Mm.
So I feel like when I get to do these like crazy scenes, it just gives me so much freedom and it's so satisfying. Like getting to yell at the top of your lungs when you've like never heard your voice like that before. Ah, it's so great. Except when you hear it back on the playback and all you're hearing is just
Oh.
you screaming over and over and you're like, please stop watching me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. I don't know if I've ever like yelled at someone with full force, but I guess that's the beauty of being an actress. You get to do all this stuff that you would never otherwise
Yeah.
do. So you're 18, full-time actress. How did you come to that decision to put full focus on acting?
Yeah, I think it sort of came about. So I started Shorty like halfway through year 11 and I didn't leave school until year 12 and I did that online when I was filming. So like in my dressing room, I'd be doing my like internals and stuff. But I feel like that decision didn't really come until, because originally I was only supposed to be on for like a few months, and then they kept extending me, and I was like, oh, this is great. So I feel like at that point when I started acting, I kind of realized like the second I started, I was like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do for the rest of my life. Because I had no experience prior. It was my first acting job. I had only been with my agent for like a few months at that point. So I was
Wow.
very shocked that I even got the job. But it taught me so much. Like it's basically been my training ground for professional sets. So I kind of came to that choice when it was leading up to my year 12. I went to like 3 days of school and was like, mm, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. And then I left and I didn't tell anyone. Oops. And I did school online. And then I kind of just committed full time. When I got my contract, I was like, you know what? This is a pretty sweet deal. I'm going to keep going with it. And I feel like it just made a lot of sense for me and who I am as a person because I finally felt like I was myself at that point. Even when I'm playing these other characters, like being on set around all these wonderful people, like cast and crew, kind of made me realize because I had struggled a lot with my mental health when I was younger, probably like 13 onwards ish until about that time when I was 15. Real bad era. That wasn't a cute Meg. That was a sad Meg. And I kind of didn't feel like I had any purpose. I didn't really know what I was doing. And so when I started acting after lockdown, I was kind of like, this somehow just fell into place. Like it wasn't something that I like was trying to pursue. It just kind of happened to me. And then now it's like all I'm pursuing. And I feel like the things just kind of, the puzzle pieces kind of slotted together when I started. And then it just kind of became full time. And then I was like, this is great. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop acting.
So you're not in formal education, I would say, but
Mm,
you're learning every day on set. You're learning how to work in a professional
mm.
environment. And are there any other like stuff that you're into that you would say is supplementing your, I think they call it like an actor's toolbox, I say, that was like would maybe
Yeah.
support?
Yeah. Well, in the realm of acting, I love doing a lot of workshops and like classes, like online Zooms and just kind of studying from all the people and all the coaches that I hear of. But I have a lot of hobbies as I kind of touched on earlier. Like a lot of fitness is really my thing. Like I love working out. It's one of my like most consistent hobbies, I think, for the past like 5 years, maybe. And with that kind of comes exploring like different ways of training. Like weight training is really fun for me, yoga, Pilates. And I also do horse riding and pole dancing, which both kind of came at they're like total opposites, but they kind of came at the same time. I started, I think in like February this year, doing private lessons, horse riding and pole dancing. I started doing classes around the same time, but that was only because I watched Honora and I was like,
Mm.
well,
I
now I
was
need to become
I
Mikey
was
Madison.
wondering
So
if yeah. I was wondering if that
it
was
had
the
a lot to do with
inspiration.
Honora. Yeah. Actually, you know what? You wouldn't think it, but the amount of times I've had to use videos of me pole dancing for auditions, kind of a crazy amount. Like, it comes in handy. I'm not even lying. They'll be like, do you have any dance training? I'm like, wait till you see this. And it's just me going, wee! Like, but they take it. They take it. They like it. I swear. So it's
Cool.
not like that scandalous. It's actually kind of helpful. Plus, it
The
just
core
looks cool.
strength
So,
must be
yeah.
crazy for that. Like,
Dude,
yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, like, I thought I had core until I did my first class. I was battered and bruised. Like, the bruises that you get are nuts. Like, my feet were like purple for a week. It was crazy. Crazy behavior.
You'll
But
have
yeah,
to
so pole
yeah.
dancing, very fun. Um, and my horse riding also, I mean, I was like a horse girl growing up, but I never actually rode horses, which doesn't make sense in the slightest, I know. But that was me. I was like, oh my God, I love horses. I want one. Let me like Google about like, oh my God, what saddle should I buy for like my future farm? Like I was all up on that. And then I actually started riding this year because I was like, maybe I should learn instead of just look at them from afar.
Yeah.
And that has been so much fun. It's like a whole different level of fitness as well. I feel like it really puts you to the test when you're doing these different things with your body because you're like, oh, how can it be? You're sitting on a horse. Wrong. So much more than that. But I did do, before I went away to New York, I did my first like dressage test, which was really fun. And I had never done any like
Wow.
professional, well, it wasn't professional, but it was just at the riding school that I go to. And it was actually really fun. And I didn't do, I think I got like a 79. I didn't do too bad.
Damn.
Okay. Maybe a little bit bad, but for a first time, I was
Better
quite
than I'm
impressed
doing at
with.
uni, so there's that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, but yeah, I feel like my hobbies kind of range. It's like a lot of like physical sports stuff or things like reading or music, like playing guitar. And I'm self-taught-ish. Like I took lessons as a kid and then I kind of dropped it. So then I was like, YouTube tutorial. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where we went from there. It's fun because I think like a lot of people wouldn't think to do those things. I mean, like horse riding, I guess is common, but things like pole dancing, like it seems very like I guess polarizing
Mm.
because of duh, everything attached to it. But it's actually such a beautiful sport, and it's so hard. And the women are so strong and incredible. Like you watch them doing these things, and you try it, and you're like, how did you hold that? How did you do that? What happened there? And you're
Yeah.
like, just in absolute awe of these women. Like
Mm.
it's so insanely cool. It's great. Yeah.
I'm wondering how you kind of deal with. I'll ask you this as well, actually, Millie, like how you deal with putting yourself out there and
Mm.
knowing that people are watching. Like Millie, people can like watch your games,
Mm.
and like Meg, people
Yeah,
can watch Shortland Street.
me, I mean, it's hard, but I think it's obviously nice when the media is good and you're doing well. But I think it's important to just like distance yourself from the media because they always have an opinion and never know the full story. I think it's difficult, and I'm sure it must have been so hard for you, especially being so young, like in the public
Mm.
eye. Like I
Yeah.
feel like you kind of get thrown into it and you just kind of are expected to deal with it. Yeah, I would love to hear what you have experienced.
Mm. Yeah. I feel like I kind of had it quite different to the rest of the class in terms of I'm the youngest, but also just being a young woman in this kind of space and someone who does post online a lot, especially on like TikTok and Instagram. So I found when I started, because Shortland Street has such a strong fandom, it was quite intense off the bat. Especially like
Yeah, I
all
mean
the Facebook groups.
I was scrolling on TikTok and I see like thirst trap edits being made about my 15-year-old brother, and I was like,
Dude, he showed me those and I was like, what? And then they started happening to me and I was like,
like
what?
like what is going on? Oh, wait, we need to explain
It's
that.
crazy.
So, in the
Yeah.
world of Shortland Street, if I existed, Meg would be my dead brother's baby mama.
Love that you put it that way. That's actually like
That's who you
perfect
are to
explanation.
me. Like,
We're basically
yeah.
related.
My younger brother Darby was Wilder in Shortland Street. Meg was his girlfriend, and then Darby Wilder started investigating a cult, and then he got like drowned by a
Mm.
priest, and then it turned out
Hmm.
Cassie was pregnant, and now my nephew is
Yeah.
yeah
Living on.
yeah
We love Knox. Shout out
yeah
to Knox.
yeah. So
Um,
that's my connection to Meg.
yeah, that's our family tree.
Yeah.
If you needed to know. Um, but yeah, so like around that time, I found it kind of like slowly built up because especially on Instagram, I found, well, Facebook, the people are brutal. Like they will not hold back. So the best thing to do is just not look at that. Whereas on Instagram, there was a few accounts specifically like, well, recently as my character's gotten more screen time over the year, I've had people like set up bots to spam hate on my pages for like 2 weeks straight every morning. I've had people make insanely disgusting memes of me. I had someone stalk me. I've had people like follow me around like public events and stuff. Um, yeah, like it's it's crazy. I
No
think
words for
I think
that.
I kind of brush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of brush it under the rug most of the time
Hmm.
because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like it happens. It's part of the job. But honestly, none of that is normal. And
No.
yeah, it's quite hard to explain it without it sounding so intense because for me, I don't feel any type of way about it. I'm kind of like, yeah, that sucks and that shouldn't happen, but it does happen. Whereas if I tell someone like, oh yeah, someone called me at like 12 a.m. and like was like sending me threatening like death threats for punching a character on the show, and I was like, if I explain that to someone, they're going to be like, what? And I can't explain it any other way. It's
Mm.
just people have really strong opinions and they do not
Yeah.
hold back,
It's very
especially on
similar,
TikTok.
yeah. Within, like, football fan culture, I found particularly in England, like, just fan culture
Mm,
in general, like, it's so lovely that social media has given, like, you both a platform to connect with people and
mm,
supporters on a level, but the other side to that is being so difficult to figure out your boundaries with that, like, as much,
yeah.
yeah.
And like who to talk to about
Absolutely.
that, because it's like feels so lonely, I feel, and it's like you're kind of the
Of
main one
course.
seeing it, and most people won't see that or understand that, and it's like hard.
Yeah.
Who do you reach out to?
No,
Mm,
exactly. That's the thing. It's like, especially because being the youngest on the cast kind of meant like, sure, like I had so many people looking out for me and so many people caring for me, which I'm really grateful for. And like all the like film industry friends that I've made outside of Shorty as well, like the series that I just shot, like talking about it with them actually kind of helped me feel a bit more normal about it because
mm,
they would have experienced something to that level as well. But when you explain it to someone who has never been, I guess, in the public eye in that way, you kind of freak out about it a little bit because their reaction is so severe that you're like, wait, should I be more worried? Wait, should I think about what I'm posting more? It can be quite hard to find people who are supportive as well because it does feel sometimes it can feel a bit of that like jealousy or that sort of weird, like you said, like competitiveness where you're sort of trying to one up each other all the time. And I think it's one of those things that we're kind of just it's kind of like built into us to be like, who's better? Or like, let's be better. It's that thing of that like kind of internalized misogyny that we kind of have where we're constantly comparing ourselves to each other and we don't even realize it. And then it hurts us and it stabs us in the back. We're the ones with the knife because we're just making it so much harder for ourselves. And I think
yeah.
only recently did I really find like proper friends who are there for me in those hard times and also are there for me in those great times and truly
Mm,
support me. My castmate from Shorty, Tessa, she plays Poppy on the show. She's one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met in my life. And I'm so grateful for her. She's like my big sister. Like we talk about everything. And she's one of those people who will cheer you on, like no matter what. And if things are hard, she will stay on the phone for 2 hours with you if you need it. Like that was me the other day. I felt like growing up, because I don't talk to anyone from high school. I didn't really have any like solid friends there. And so discovering that people like Tessa actually exist kind of gives you a lot of hope because you're like, oh, there's actually good people in this world who support you and no one's always trying to like make you feel like you're shit, you know? Like it's really, it's quite nice. It's like the light in the dark.
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, all these horrible things are
Mm,
happening. But hey, these people are great and therefore I'm great too. And
yeah,
it's, yeah,
totally.
it's quite like comforting,
Mm.
you know?
How did you navigate like life outside of school? Because I feel like it's so structured in New Zealand. You're like supposed to go to school and finish high school and then
Mm,
figure it out from there. But finishing young, it's like, what do you do? And like, how do you make new friends? And how do you navigate like this new job? I would love to know how you got into it
mm,
and how it just kept going.
yeah. So I kind of my like first year of high school was the first year of COVID. So I didn't really get a full like in-person school year until year 11, which is when I started Shorty. And then I left. So I didn't really get that like high school experience that everyone always talks about. Anything that I did get, it was pretty, pretty shit. Like it wasn't, I'm not going to like dote on my high school experience, but I definitely think because I was struggling mentally, it sort of cast everything in this really like horrific light where I was like, I hate my life. And leaving school at such a young age, it felt honestly kind of like a breath of fresh air. So, it was just so freeing for me because I feel like I was so stuck and breaking free of that environment and all these people who I like, who didn't actually care about me and that I didn't actually care about. We were just in the same class sometimes, or people that weren't really my friends and were just kind of there using me. Like it felt the second that I left that I was like, oh, this is what life is. Which is so strange because you would think like don't you miss like the idea of like a high school? Like I never got a ball, like I didn't do the whole prom thing, like I didn't get that. And I feel like a lot of people, when they ask me or talk about these things, they're like, don't you wish you had that? I very much don't, because I feel like if I stayed in high school, I would be a very different person. And I think leaving that kind of made me realize that like there's so much more to life. Because you're right, like you get so sucked into this like high school, uni, whatever, and it's like this, and this with this group of people because small country, like everyone knows each other, that type of thing, which is fine and like works for some people, but I just don't think it would have ever worked for me. So I think it was honestly one of the best decisions that I made, not only to start acting, but also to leave school entirely, because it meant that I kind of had a fresh ground to start off with. And yes, it did mean that I didn't have many friends. But then as you get in the film industry, you know, like everyone from set was my friend. And then I'd meet all these people in the film industry who were like a few years older than me. I mean, like I don't have many friends that are my age, but that didn't really matter because it was kind of like, we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat. And so you kind of figure it out. You figure it out. And I think the quality of friends that I have now versus from when I was younger, so different. Like I think it's just that thing of like being in each other's pockets all the time on set. And then you're just constantly seeing these people every day and talking to them, working with them, but also just having to like be vulnerable with them at like all times. Cause that's basically our job, is just to be vulnerable and to be open. And so when you're doing that, you kind of like, it's almost trauma bonding, but like in a good way. Like it's not like in a bad, I mean, it could be in a bad way, but it's really
Millie's
not.
like
It's
nodding,
like
like she's like, yeah, like this is how I feel
it's
as
like,
well.
Same thing, different industry. Like I'm like, yep, all my friends are older. Like yep,
no, literally.
so
Yeah,
much.
that's exactly it. And I think you become so close. It's, it's like, it must be some like weird scientific like thing to do with our brains when we're just like seeing so much of someone that we're immediately like, okay, we're besties now.
Like that was literally with Millie. Like she got to her new team and she's like, I have no friends. And then a month later, she's like, yeah, like this is my like best friend on the team. Like we're going out and we're doing this and we have like having all this fun. And I was like,
We're like this.
And you like go through so much together, so it's like you're automatically gonna be best friends. First day you might, oh, I don't know about these people. And it just naturally happens. But yeah, it's weird how it works, but it's kind of sweet in a way.
I know, it's kind of nice.
do you want to tell us about your trip? Like your
Yeah, we would love
yeah.
that.
I've been waiting for this one.
And also,
okay.
how old did you do it like solo? Like that is like, were you?
That's impressive.
This is the thing. I mean, I solo traveled last year to Sydney, but that was like just for a week. Like that was pretty mild. Like it wasn't anything crazy. This trip, I was away for just over 2.5 weeks. I was in New York for majority of it, and then LA for like 4 days doing a course, and then I just had like one day of freedom, really, for meetings with my manager and all that.
Makes me want to cry. I'm so jealous.
I'm telling you, when I left New York, I was like, oh no, this is feeling really emotional. And then I got to LA and I was doing this course. I was like, this course is great, but I miss New York. Like it's all I talk about. It's really bad. Like every day on set, I just be like, so I got this in New York and this in New York and this is what I did. And everyone was like, Meg, do you have anything
well, this
else
is
to
your
talk about? I'm
chance.
like,
Like,
no.
tell us everything. Like,
Exactly. Okay, New York was incredible. I did so many Pilates classes. I went to like a new place every day. It was crazy. Hot Pilates in New York is different. It's not fun and games. It's like an athletic sport. It's scary. And these people are just like going for it. And I'm like, I thought I was pretty skilled at Hot Pilates. Wait till you see the New Yorkers. Girl, they're on something. They're on something different. And it scares me. It scares me, honestly. The instructors are just like, go, go, go. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me catch my breath real quick. Can I have a water break?
this
Like,
is not giving Red Room. Like,
no, it's not giving Red Room. It's giving like torture room is what it's serving. But I kind of lived for it. I loved
God.
it. And then I went to see 5 Broadway shows because I was like, well, if I'm going to New York, I'm going to spend my money on the right things. So I went to Hamilton on the first night that I landed, which was obviously Chef's Kiss. I saw Cabaret, which was really good. John Proctor's The Villain with Sadie Sink.
I really want to see that.
It was gorgeous. I cried I cried so much in the Uber home that I tipped the guy who was driving me so nicely because I thought I was being quiet. I was just like in the back, and I look up and he's staring at me in the rear view, and I was like, fuck. It's like shit. And I thought I had it under control. Like I was being so sneaky. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, I'm such a little baby. It's just a Broadway show. And then I also saw Death Becomes Her and Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard, let me tell you about this. The last show that I saw, it was the best out of all of them, or my personal favorite. And it was because of two things. Number one being the show itself is so incredible. And Nicole, her voice, like after every song, there was a standing ovation for her. Nicole, like, as in from the Pussycat Dolls, like, my shit, loosen up my butt, you know, her.
Yep, no, exactly.
So she plays the lead in Sunset Boulevard. And it was so incredible. Like, every song, I was, like, up on my feet like this. Like, it was so amazing. And the show itself, technically, is just gorgeous. Like, they have these huge screens, and they use these cameras on stage. So they're doing live theater, but you also are watching a movie at the same time. It's wild. But then the funny thing is, I actually bought tickets for that for the wrong night. And so I had to go get box office ones last minute. And I got sat in this row, and I was next to this guy. Hopefully he doesn't mind me telling the story. But he was like, oh, did you get last minute tickets too? I was like, yeah. Like, I kind of fucked up my situation, but I'm here. We end up chatting. He's a TV show writer. He wrote P Valley, which is like a show that's filmed out in Atlanta. And I was like, oh, wild. Hi, King. So we keep talking. He's like, are you an actor? And I was like, yeah. No, we keep talking. He literally, I'm not saying anything about acting. I'm just talking about how much I love these shows. And he's like, are you an actor? And I was like, yeah. How did you know? He goes, I can tell. And I was like, okay. All right, King. But then let me tell you this. So we're becoming besties essentially. He would so agree with that statement. And then it comes to the intermission. He's like, wow, like what an incredible show. I was like, I know, like I have no regrets about fucking up my tickets. Like this is such a good view. And then out walks by. Do you know the guy who plays Dustin from Stranger Things?
Yes.
His name, yeah.
Gaten.
He walks by.
Yeah.
They know each other. This bitch starts talking. They start talking. And I was like, oh. And he goes, hey, this is Meg, my new friend. And Gaten's like, hi, Meg. Like, my name's Gaten. Nice to meet you. And I was like, yeah, I know. I literally went, I was like, yeah, I know you. And they all start laughing at me. And I was like, why did this happen? And then he's like, oh, it was nice to meet you. Like, I'm gonna go sit down now, but like, enjoy the rest of the show. And I was like, bro, I look at the writer. I'm like, you were the coolest person I go. Like, you're the coolest person I know out of like everyone here. And he was like, I don't know. It's just like the industry. And I was like, it's just the industry. I was so shocked. And then I just like spent the rest of the show in absolute awe. I was like, how is this real? How is this New York? And then I was walking down Soho one time and I passed Willow Smith. What? Wow. I didn't know what to do. I was on FaceTime with my mom and then I looked up and we made eye contact and she just kept walking. I was like, what? And my mom was like, Meg, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Being in New York, obviously you knew and you found who you are through acting, but did it just level up everything you want to do by just being there?
Completely. It's such a different environment. Like, it's such a rich city. There's so much culture and so many people. And the people are actually nice. I mean, I'm sure there are some assholes out there in New York, which they're kind of like known to be. But I'm telling you, I made friends everywhere I went. Like, people are so kind. They're willing to help you if you ask. It's just kind of like, mind your own business. But if you want to talk, we're going to have a deep conversation. We're going to get to know each other. I felt immediately when I was in New York, not only because of the city itself, but I was just like, oh, I felt immediately at home. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, the people here are like my normal. Whereas here at home in Auckland, I feel like I'm boom up here and people like here, like just like behavior wise, they're like, oh, she's a lot. She doesn't stop talking. She's so bubbly. Whereas like, that's just normal. Like in the States, like no one would bat an eye at that. And it was so life changing. Like, I didn't expect, I kind of psyched myself out. I was like, am I ready for New York? On the plane ride over, I was kind of like rocking back and forth being like, have I made a mistake? No, best decision of my life to go to New York.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was amazing. Yeah. So anyone who wants to go, I recommend.
Yeah. That
Stay
sounds so
in
cool.
the Lower East Side. Yeah.
I would love to know if there were any actresses or actors in New Zealand that you kind of looked up to, or like maybe took you under their wing to like help you, I guess, create that pathway.
Yeah.
Is there much of a pathway for actresses in New Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the major ones, so Maeve, who is played by Jess Sayer on the show, who was Wilder's mum, who my character kind of lives with, and that she's like Cassie's, like, I guess, mother-in-law, but not really,
She's
because
her, yeah,
yeah, shit happened.
dead boyfriend's
Like,
mom,
and then grandmother
grandma.
to child. Anyway, it's complicated. It's real
It's
complicated.
Shortland Street.
But I feel like it's Shortland Street is what it is. But yeah, I feel like Jess is one of those people that immediately took me under her wing because I was scared shitless when I started. I was so terrified, and she immediately could read me. Like, she can read me so well. It's really scary. We literally have the same birthday. We're like the same. We're the same. And she's incredibly talented. And I feel like off the bat, like it was just like her warmth and her energy, but also her willingness to explain things to me that could have seemed like stupid questions to ask to other people. And anytime that I'm like struggling with a scene, she's like always there. She'll be like, "Do you want to run lines in the break? Or, like, what do you want to do? Or do you want to talk about this? Should we like, bring it up in rehearsals? What do you want to do?" She's always on it and always there to teach. And she does it without even knowing. Like, she's just so, I could like speak for so long about this woman. She's, she's like my mom. But
Oh,
yeah, she
that's so
immediately took me under her
nice.
wing. And I
Yeah.
think the same with Sally Martin, who played Nicole on the show. Both of
Mm.
them were kind of like my like mentors, I suppose. And such a masterclass to watch them work, and to get to work with them is just
Yeah.
such a blessing, especially
Mm.
on a show like that where they've been doing it for like a solid while. They know what they're doing, but they still don't act, as if they're like better. It's more just like, I have so much to teach you. Here, learn. I want you to be good. And I love that. I love that so much because I feel like for me, I just want to absorb everything from everyone that I work with.
Something I feel like quite passionately about is
Mm,
obviously New Zealand is a very small place, but I think creatively and sports wise as well,
mm,
often people just don't acknowledge the value of New Zealanders doing great things enough. Like I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, want to get out of here and like do other stuff." And I think it's a really awesome start. Like I think New Zealand is such a privileged place to be for if you're starting a career in sports, if you're
mm,
starting a career in music, if you're starting a career in acting. The small space can actually be so beneficial
mm.
just because you already
Oh my
have
God,
like a
yeah.
built-in support network. Like I'm sure you find that with the firms as well,
Mm.
Millie.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing of like, it may be technically like a small industry, but because of that, you kind of have a bigger stage in a sense if you do get one of these like iconic shows, or you do like
Mm,
a project that's done really well in New Zealand. Everyone's going to know about it because small industry. So it feels like a really good like platform to step up to then go into like the bigger pond, which is America or
totally.
like
Yeah.
Canada or whatever, because
Yeah.
you already have kind of built something here and you can kind of
Yeah.
use it overseas. Whereas like over there, it's so
Totally.
much harder to get that start because there's so
Yeah.
much and so many people. Yeah, I don't know. How do you find that, Millie, as well?
Yeah, I think exactly the same. Like, it's great. There's a lot less people in the industry, so I guess it's a lot
Mm,
easier to get your start and then obviously use that and like grow your tools or just develop in whatever environment you're in and then kind of make that jump. Yeah.
mm, mm. Yeah, totally. Because it can sometimes feel like, oh man, I wish I was like born in LA or born in New York, whatever. But then when it kind of comes to it, being from New Zealand is such an advantage because you're already, quote, different. But then it
Mm,
gives you that leverage to build your name in your own country. And then the people overseas will see you easier. It's easier to spot
yeah.
you because
Yeah.
you've been doing all this work and you've been working hard and you're like hopefully getting to be the best in whatever you're doing. Whereas because there's so many people and it's so competitive overseas, some people just never get to be seen. There's no spotlight on them, and that's it just passes them by. because of how chaotic it can be.
I would love to know like some advice you would give some young actors and actresses in New Zealand on how to get into it and how to like navigate it, and maybe just some advice that you have found most useful in your time in the industry.
Yeah, I think for people who want to start, I think that's the hardest part, is actually reaching out to agents and starting that. But I just cold emailed a lot of people is what I did. And then I set up Zoom meetings, and then whoever I vibed with best, which was Auckland Actors, my current agent, it just kind of happened. It's like you have to really gel with who you're working with. That's one of the most important things. It's not only like you're working for them, but they're also working for you. So you have to make sure you have a good relationship and you vibe. And I kind of had the same thing when I signed with my American manager, Mike. It was just off the bat. I was like, oh yeah, like we're going to work well together. That's a vibe. And you can kind of tell. And so you have to make sure, like, when you're doing this, it's not just about who's giving you an opportunity, but it's about who you think you can work with best. And I think, like, acting wise, the biggest thing that I would tell people is to just trust yourself, because I think a lot of the job is just constantly embarrassing yourself on camera, and you just have to know that that's a part of it, and that's fine. And you just have to know that when you're doing these things, yes, it's hard, but like at the same time, you just have to commit to what you're doing, because if you half-ass anything, it's not going to read on camera very well, and people are immediately going to know. It's like you have to fake it till you make it. And also just knowing that, like, you should like take your work seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously, because if you do that, you're not going to be the best person to be around. Like, if you're so serious all the time, a lot of the industry, a lot of the time when you're filming, it's just a lot of waiting around for different setups. And so you're talking to people. But if you're like, I mean, there's always space to, like, get in the zone if you need to, if it's a big, heavy, emotional scene. For sure. Like, I do that all the time. But you just have to know you have to be conversational. You have to be on it and talking to people and making jokes and bonding. And you just can't be like one of those people who are like methoding it, because you don't know who you're going to meet. And also you don't know what it could lead to in the future. And that's the thing, like, through Shorty, I kind of got the series that we were just doing because of the people that I knew, but also, I mean, I auditioned, obviously, but it was through the people that I knew that it kind of came about and came onto my lap. And I was like, oh, this is a cool project. And then I got an audition. I was like, oh, dope. They want me, because I just heard about it. And so it's one of those things, like, it's the people you know and the people that you see most often, hair and makeup, because they're the first people you go to in the morning. Sometimes the last people that you see at night if you're taking off, any like special effects or whatever it is. Like, they are your therapists. They are amazing and they look after you. And also it's really nice because you could just kind of either chill and like let them do what they need to do, or you can chat up a storm. Like, it's one or the other, and it's lovely.
Yay. Oh, that was amazing. Great advice.
Our question from our last guest, Izzy, was each week we do like a question from our previous guest to our next guest. Oh, I probably should have told you that so you could think of one.
No, you're fine.
But her question to you was, if you could be on any reality TV show, what would it be?
Oh, okay, you're talking to the right girl. Okay. I'm only saying this because I don't know how long I would last, right? I don't know if it would work for me at all, but I think I just need to be on Love Island like once in my life. Because I just want to know what happens behind the screens. All I want to know is, like, what do they do when the cameras are off? I want to get my nails done and my lashes done and talk shit with the girls, like, while the cameras aren't rolling. Like, are you kidding? That's what I want to do. I want to do like the girly things. I don't give a shit about the men. I just want to be there with my girls. Like, living in a villa with a bunch of like hot young women that are your age, like, my dream date. And you knew that. Like, that's what it is.
What would you do for the heart rate challenge and the talent show?
I feel like you'd eat that up.
Okay.
Well, the poll. You'd have to get the poll out.
The poll! This is what I'm saying. I could do like a triple act moment. I could be like, I could sing, I'll act, and then I'll whip out the poll. I'll be like, wow.
Yes, you're not actually doing that.
The heart rate challenge.
Yeah, the only
Every
reason
voice heart rate would be risen for you. Like, It's not even a question.
Yeah, they'll just be like, it's either like they're scared for my life on this pole, or they're like finding it really hot, and that's where the heart rate comes into it. I'll do some like really whack shit, like some crazy stuff, and they'll be like, "Is she okay?" And then I'll just win. It's like attacking the system, really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's been the secret reason you've been doing pole dancing. It's not for any roles. It's just for the Love Island Heart Rate
just
Challenge.
for my future Love Island experience.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun to host it. I feel like the hosts would have so much fun because they get to watch that shit and like poke the bear all the time. Oh, I would eat that up.
Yeah, Maya Jama and the one on the American show. I forgot. What's her name, Millie?
Ariana Maddox.
It's crazy. Maya Jama, she's just like, I just look at her, I'm like, how are you real?
I don't think
what is this? Where did you come from?
Yeah.
No, she's fake. It's AI. I'm calling it.
You heard it here first. Do you have a question for our next guest? We have no idea who it's going to be.
Yeah. You have no idea? Okay. No, I have one that could kind of work for anyone, but it depends if they listen to music or not. I'm going to hope that they do.
Everyone listens to music.
You'd be insane if you didn't.
Yeah.
Everyone listens to music. If they could pick like an album or a song to describe their life right now, like where they're at right now, what would it be and why? That's a question.
Great question. What do you think the song to Cassie's life would be right now?
Okay, I don't know about right now, but when she was in her like druggy era, I was listening to It's Not Living If It's Not With You by the 1975, because that's about drug addiction. And I was like, it's also just like an absolute banger. But I was like, this is so Cassie right now. And she would so listen to the 1975. Like that's absolutely in her realm. I think she would get that from Maeve. Like that's that for me. So that's what I would say for then. But like for now, I honestly have no clue. I couldn't tell you.
Mommy era, she's probably
not listening
to like, she's probably
nursery
watching
rhymes or
like,
something. Yeah. The Wiggles, like that's her jam right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was awesome. Thanks so much for coming on. I feel like I've learned so much.
No, thank you for having me. Oh, thank you. I had such a fun time. I've talked for excessive amounts. So. Love it.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. We had such an amazing time talking to Megg today. We loved hearing all about her story. Make sure you follow us on all social medias, Millie and Billie No Ball. And Megg, where can they find you to keep up with your journey?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram under yours truly, Megg, and on TikTok, Megg Alexander.
Amazing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.